Hello everybody, this is Ricardo and welcome to this week's episode of Retro Gaming with Ricardo. And this week's game is Double Dragon, that 1987 arcade favourite that got converted to many other platforms during its history. It's a huge franchise where an animated series was produced and a live action film also produced. It's a beat 'em up, okay? And the series stars two martial artists, Billy and Jimmy. I believe this is Billy on the screen, as they fight against various adversaries using kung fu or martial arts or some sort of karate. The original Double Dragon by Technōs was first released as an arcade game, as I mentioned, but then taken on by Nintendo and produced then for the Game Boy in 1990. Now I must apologise. I have done particularly well on this first go of Double Dragon on the Atari ST, much to my surprise. And as a result of this video is 33 minutes long, and I've cut that down because the graphics did corrupt on the second disc that I've got for this, making it virtually unplayable to the point where I got to the last level when the guy comes up with the machine gun and the girlfriend's hanging on a piece of rope, and I'd lost so many lives because of the graphic corruption in the previous level. That was it. You are given 5 credits to start off with on the Atari ST game, however, and that does afford you a little bit of leeway when playing it. 2 Double Dragon sequels were released for the arcade: Double Dragon 2, The Revenge in 1988, and Double Dragon 3, The Rosetta Stone. Not to be confused with Rosetta Stone, the language game, or language tutor, in 1990. Like the original, Technōs, which was the producer, produced versions of the NES Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, and in 1989 Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones in 1991, respectively. A 4th game was released then for the Super Nintendo in 1992 that was called Super Double Dragon. If you remember, all those games had Super before them. Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Double Dragon. In 1994, Trade West released Double Dragon 5, The Shadow Falls, for the Super Nintendo and Genesis in North America and Europe. A competitive fighting game, however, developed by Leyland Interactive based on Double Dragon animated series by Bobot Entertainment, was also released. A Jaguar version was released as well. Another fighting game was produced by Technōs, simply titled Double Dragon, and that was released for the Neo Geo arcade and home console in 1995. The Neo Geo CD version was also released, as well as a PlayStation version by Urban Planet. It was the last Double Dragon game produced by Technōs before the company went out of business. In 2003, a remake of the original Double Dragon, titled Double Dragon Advanced, was produced by Atlus, and Million, the copyright holder of the Double Dragon series at the time for the Game Boy Advance, was also produced. In 2011, another remake upon remake, was released for the iPhone, developed by Brizzo Interactive and published by Axis Games. On April 5th, 2013, Double Dragon 2, Wanderer of the Dragons, a 3D remake of Double Dragon 2, was released for the Xbox arcade game by developer Gravity. If you've got an Xbox 360, it's well worth checking out. A compilation of the 3 arcade titles, entitled Double Dragon Trilogy, was released in 2013 for iOS, Android and Steam platforms. So as we've mentioned, Billy and Jimmy, the 2 protagonists of this game, and indeed series, are depicted as typical Bruce Lee-like martial arts. They've got the cut-off sleeveless tank tops and the saggy bottoms and, the white ripped t-shirt. And for most of the series, players take control of these 2 martial artists, or the martial artist Billy Lee, who's the blue guy you can see on the screen. He's often assisted by his twin. He's in red, and that's Jimmy, who usually serves as the second player's character in most of the games. The Lee brothers are characterized as successors of a fictional martial art known as Sotsuken, which means twin server fist. And that is meant to combine techniques from styles as karate, tai chi, and kempo. The duo were actually named when the original arcade game was initially released in Japan, though the names Hammer and Spike were given to them in the cabinet and promotional flyer versions from Taisho. Now, the two brothers are shown to be romantically interested in the same woman, Marion, a student in their Jodo. The arcade version of the game, along with most of the console versions, end up with the brothers fighting each other over Marion, if two players reach the end together, with the survivor ultimately winning the affections of that fair lady. The Famicom NES version, which establishes Marion to be Billy's long-term girlfriend, changes the story that Jimmy was actually the leader of the Black Warriors, which is the rival gang. The enemy organisation in the original Double Dragon are called the Black Warriors Gang, who are characterised as the dominant criminal organisation in New York City. It all happens in New York, everybody. I don't know what to tell you. It's always America. It's always... It does amaze me, and I play a lot of games, and I've played a lot of games over my lifetime, and none of these games are set in, I don't know, Manchester, or Barry Island, or, I don't know, the Costa del Sol, which is a shame. It's always America, because it's the hive of, I don't know, criminality and kick-assness. And it's not. And I've been to the States many times. And, you know, I don't think I've seen one fist fight. And I'm sure it happens, and it happens everywhere. But it's a shame it's always set in New York. And I think people from New York get a bum rap, because it's a lovely place. Anyway, the gameplay in most of these games is a beat-em-up, as we've mentioned. And the player can perform a variety of moves. A flying kick, an elbow, a side kick, a punch, that sort of thing. Humongous jumping is involved in this game as well. You can also pick up bats and whips and rocks and barrels to throw them at the rather large opponents that you get as well. Although it's just as easy sometimes, especially in the Atari ST version, to kick them out of the way if you get the screen positioning just right. So, I've been Ricardo, and this video goes on for another 25 minutes or so. I'm not going to narrate all the way through this, and I'm pretty sure not many people are going to go through and watch the rest of this video. If you do, congratulations. You're a complete die-hard, and I salute you. If not, please subscribe and check back for more videos. This is quite a playthrough video, not so much as a review, but it is working on the Atari ST, and like I said, it's not via an emulator, it's via the original discs. Thanks very much for watching, and check back soon for some more retro video action.